So this is my bench grinder regulator project. The essential part here is this sort of extension thingy. I have removed the power switch there and I have replaced it with a triac regulator. So there's just an opto triac or an opto coupler and a triac. The opto coupler is MOC 3024, I believe it is. Actually 3042, sorry. And I'm using the BD136 as the triac. So that fits in nicely in there, in the place where the switch originally was. And I'm running two wires from here and I'm switching it using a DigiSpark board, I believe it is. And that's just right there. You can't really see it, so apologies for that. I have also replaced the regulator on that board. It used to be an hold on a second, 7805, I have no idea. I'm sorry, 7805L, I suppose. Whatever. I just replaced it with a bigger regulator. And here I have the sort of the sensor that detects how fast the thing is going. So I'm just using just a regular Jelly Beam op-amp. It's an LM358 op-amp. So it's a dual op-amp, and I'm using one half as just a voltage follower and the other half as a comparator with hysteresis. So there are two potentiometers here. One sets the hysteresis and one sets the threshold for the comparator, and the input of the comparator is just an opto transistor, a phototransistor, which then gets illuminated by a light reflected off of this sort of disc that's mounted on the grinding wheel. So I'm just illuminating this disc with just an infrared LED, and the light bounces off and it gets detected by a phototransistor that's mounted on this board. And then this signal gets filtered by the op-amp and then gets sent as a square wave to all the way to the 801085 down there. And the 801085 then reacts, and based on the set point, which is actually set by this on the side using this potentiometer, then it turns on this triac and in extension this whole grinder. So I'm just going to show you. I've been talking for almost 3 minutes now, for even more than 3 minutes. I'm just gonna run it. There we go. And I can use this potentiometer to set how fast I want it to go. I'm just covering the microphone there. And as I turn the potentiometer, this blue LED sort of moves left and right. So that's our set point. By the way, this seems very bright, but it's actually not as bright in real life. I have grinded, I've sanded down this tube there, so it's not nearly as bright. And so I set how fast I want it to go, and then the actual speed gets displayed as this sort of progress bar that goes from green all the way here to red all the way here. So if I add to it, you can see it turns, it's sort of orangey there. This is our set point. And then I actually also have those two LEDs on the side there, and this LED here just turns on as the regulator sort of gives impulse to the motor. So whenever the triac is on, this LED is on as well, and you can even hear it. It's in sync with the sound. And then this LED actually just shows whether or not the regulator is managing to set the speed correctly. So if the speed is too low and the regulator wants it to be higher, but it can't do that, this LED just lights up red. So for instance, you can see once I just added the speed, it went red because the regulator couldn't keep up. And if it's glowing green, that just means that the actual speed is higher than the regulator wants it to be. So like for instance now I've set here, but yeah, I think it's self-explanatory. And I'm running out of memory, so bye.